When you are.
Right. Coming up on this bonus Brew Do You Even Talk Pinball episode, we're going to give our hot take of Stern's newest pinball machine, Led Zeppelin. And then Kevin and I have a heartfelt Christmas present to all of you for 2020. We've got a new segment called Topper Talk with our very own, everybody's third favorite moderator for Buffalo Pinball, Andrew Goren. All that and probably not much more coming right up.
Double super jackpot!
I need a ramp. I need a loop. I want targets I can hit. I need the scoop. I need a double super jackpot in my life. That's right.
And now, the Hall & Oates of pinball podcasting, Nick Lane and Kevin Manny of Buffalo Pinball. Whoa, boom shakalaka. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to episode 55. 55? Yeah, 55.
No, it's bonus, though. It's bonus. It's
Well,
not even official analog. We'll debate that. Scholars will debate this forever.
I'm giving it a
Is this
number,
an
damn it.
official?
This is 55. You're
making
getting
it
two
official?
in 1 month. Yes.
Oh,
this
you're
is
padding it. I see.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we can have our 100th celebration.
That's right. We got to keep this ball rolling.
Oh, shit. We
Otherwise,
gotta
we'll
catch
never
up.
get there.
All right. I see. All right. I'm with you.
All right, so we're gonna talk about Led Zeppelin because Stern. We had the teaser before our last episode, but we hadn't seen it yet. And we're doing this over Skype and living remotely, so might as well crank out another episode here. So, before we get into it, let's thank our partners. They deserve it. Thanks, right?
They deserve it.
Up first, Pin Stadium, makers of amazing in-cabinet LED lighting to light up your pinball machine. Use your phone, control an app to set it up exactly how bright or dim or subtle you want it. Use coupon code Buffalo to save 10% at pinstadium.com. Double Danger, they make sweet swag. You can buy some there get all your pinball gear over at doubledangerddpinball.com. Save 15% with coupon code Buffalo. Themodcouplepinball.com. Get some mods for your pinball machine. Make them look great. Get yourself another, if you don't have enough Icarus characters in your Led Zeppelin, I'm sure they'll make another one that you can throw in there. So themodcouplepinball.com. If you want to buy Led Zeppelin or any other pinball machine that they sell, check out flipandoutpinball.com. Flipping Out Pinball, sellers of all sorts of brand new pinball machines. Topper, you can get your toppers, you can get shooter rods, you can get what else does Stern sell? Like art blades, your expression lighting systems, all that stuff. You can get that from Zach over at Flipping Out. Pinside, if you want to talk about Led Zeppelin and argue with other people about whether it's better than Guns N' Roses or not, you can do that over there. Pinside.com. Jersey Jacks, jerseyjackpinball.com. If you want to Guns N' Roses instead of a Led Zeppelin, you can get it from them. jerseyjackpinball.com. Pinball EDU. If you want to win a Led Zeppelin, you'll be able to do that from Pinball EDU. If you're watching live, type !charity and chat for the link for their monthly raffle to benefit Spinners Pinball Inclusive Arcade. Joe Said helping out kids with autism and families in need over there through pinball. Community Beerworks, communitybeerworks.com for your community beer. They make beer. It's in Buffalo. When you're in Buffalo, if you live in Buffalo, you can get it now. When you're able to travel back to Buffalo, you should go to Community Beer Works and pick up some drinks and play some pinball, maybe, if they still have pinball machines. I don't know if they do. Tilt Cycle, tiltcycle.com. Dan Burfield back at it again with us here. The playfield I have on my wall in front of me, the Atarians, is always the star of the show when it's behind me. You can get an awesome custom piece like that. He takes old pinball machine parts and upcycles them into amazing new art pieces. So check him out at tiltcycle.com. Comet Pinball. If you want to replace those nasty old incandescent bulbs in your machine with some hot new LEDs, but they're not really hot. They're like cooler. You know what I mean? Because they save energy. They don't run as hot. CometPinball.com. They also have Nick Lane's favorite t-shirts in pinball. So you should get those there. And hoodies. They got hoodies now. So Pinball Mix. Take your sound package that's in your mostly Stern pinball machine and turn it into something amazing and unique just for you. He can take your music and put it in your pinball machine just how you want it. Use coupon code Buffalo to save 10% and get a free Easter egg at pinballmix.com. And our friends over at Titan Pinball, they got silicone rings to replace your rubber rings in your pinball machine. They also have cool low bounce flipper silicone rings. I was going to call them rubbers, but they're not rubbers. Skip Natty's a big fan. If he likes them, you're probably going to like them too. Use coupon code Buffalo to save 10% over there at Titan. Thank you to all our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. And thanks to everybody at home for tuning in. So, Nick,
It was a good sponsor read.
thank you.
I was impressed. I was thinking halfway through. I was like, Kevin's kind of on fire right now.
Well, it's morning. I'm feeling good. I've had my like Nick. I had my coffee. So
That's right. Normally we do this podcast after like working a full work day. It's like 8 o'clock at night. So you know, usually
come home
there's
from
something
work,
good.
spending 2 hours setting everything up, pulling everything in, and then it's like, oh crap, I forgot something anyways. And here we are. We did it.
Hop out of bed, have a bagel, have some coffee. Let's talk Led Zeppelin.
You even make your own bagels, don't you?
Like an adult.
That's pretty.
I'm not a millennial, so I can do that.
Some next level skills.
Well, Goren's not even a millennial. He's a Gen Z.
I think so.
I think millennials shit on Gen Zers.
It all rolls downhill,
Yeah.
Boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, all the way down.
All right.
All right, so let's.
Or shall we begin?
Let's pull up some pictures.
Okay.
That's not the picture I want to start with.
So it's Saturday, December 19th, and this was dropped a few days ago. Now, this is fresh. This game, weren't they making it for a few years, or it got held up or something like that?
I
You
don't
know
know.
the history behind it?
Not really. I mean, it's been long rumored that it's
Yeah.
going. It was coming, but I don't
Yeah.
know the behind the scenes history.
So if for some reason you live under a rock, this is a Steve Ritchie game. Steve Ritchie's been in pinball back to the days of Jesus Christ, and he's known as the King of Flow. Steve has made some really iconic, not only games but iconic designs into pinball, and in some ways has taken pinball, to the next level throughout his career.
Yeah, he
So-
started way back at Atari doing. I think Superman was his first one in like '79, something like that, and he's been going all the way through the years. You might know like T2 and Firepower and
Black Knight,
High Speed, Black Knight. Really legendary pinball titles. So
AC/DC,
Yep.
the newer ones, and
Mhm.
yeah.
he's been doing it a long time. Done a lot of great hits over the years for sure. So this
And
is
then and then on rules is Tim Sexton, and this is Tim's first time, the second game that he's been the lead rules coder on it, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Correct. Yeah, Black
I think
Knight
he
was
worked on
his-
Deadpool a little bit, but Black Knight Sword of Rage was his first. Where that's his baby, and this is his second game.
Correct. So Led Zeppelin, the latest from Stern Pinball, their final release of 2020. So they announced it they teased it last Friday, announced it Monday or Tuesday with pictures and videos and stuff like that. And then here we are today. So
Here we are.
when the title got announced, what did you think? And did that change or not once we saw pictures of the game?
Right. So, I wouldn't say I'm a Led Zeppelin fan, right? I never bought a CD. I don't think I've ever put their music on in like Spotify, anything like that. But like when you talk about music pins, I know we're only going to get so many artists. The Collective Soul. I'm sorry, we're never going to get that. Everybody, all three of you out there who follow the channel and agree with me I'm sorry. Got to come and face reality. It's not happening. But yeah, I can appreciate classic rock. Like, so I was like, that's an artist I can get behind. Like, I'm more excited for a music pin from Led Zeppelin than Guns N' Roses. Like, I have a hard time with Guns N' Roses. Now, as a caveat, and as I've said many times in the past, like, I never even thought I would like a Metallica pin or Metallica as a band, and I get it and I play it. And, I think Stockholm Syndrome kicks in and I start appreciating their music. And, lo and behold, I was at a Metallica concert years ago. So, who knows how things progress and happen. But again, I think as a music fan, with the title, just the theme alone of Led Zeppelin, I was positive towards that. Whereas, like, if this is a good game, maybe I add it to my collection because I do like music pins.
It's surprising to me because like it seems like out of all the machines that got announced or discussed this year, this was the one for whatever reason that really piqued your interest and that I heard you kind of get excited about.
Well, let's think of the other ones, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I mean, I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was, 9 years old, right? When it was on in the 80s. And, I had my cassette from Pizza Hut, and I went to the movie theater when the movie came out and all that stuff. But like, I don't want a cartoon as an adult. I'm a bitter. My real age is probably 70-year-old in terms of anger and cynicism. So it does nothing for me. And then you have Avengers, which it's like, all right, I'm not a comic book guy, so again, that doesn't do anything. I don't need to watch a million movies about these comic book heroes. Like, nothing for me. Give me some fucking rock music, right? Like, give me that. That's something I can get pumped up and excited about. And music pins and pinball just seems to be a really fun combination.
Interesting. Okay. So I don't know. See, to me, it's like Led Zeppelin is here we go, another band from the 70s, 80s. It's a very tried and true formula. It's a Steve Ritchie game. We kind of know what we're gonna get with Steve Ritchie at this point. It's gonna be some flowy shots. Not a lot of toys. It's gonna be a very familiar feel with a theme that, like, Zeppelin, like, yeah, I heard them on the radio, like classic rock. They were classic rock when Guns N' Roses was new. You know what I mean? So it's like, who cares? Like, it's cool. Like, I could, like, it would never be a theme that I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna run out and buy this. Will it be fun to play on location? I'm sure it'll be a great, flowy shots, fast, fun kind of game, but it's not going to be like, oh my God, take my money, I need to have this right away. And then seeing the pictures on Monday, so why don't we pull up some photos here? I was just kind of like, what the hell did they do this art? Oh my God. I was like, this game looks terrible. And I'm like, so Steve Ritchie, we talked about this a little bit in chat. It's like, Steve Ritchie just gets saddled with the worst art packages for whatever reason. So you think about Game of Thrones, Led Zeppelin, I'm going to throw in there. Star Wars, also not good until they redid it with the comic book art. I don't know what it is. If he just doesn't care, or it just happens to be the licenses that he gets. I'm guessing that's kind of it, because licenses like Game of Thrones, Led Zeppelin. I don't know why AC/DC would have fallen under that, but I don't know. Star Wars, all probably very restrictive licenses where they go, hey, here's some assets, put these on the pinball machine. So it's, if you're listening to the show, the cabinets are themed after Led Zeppelin albums, which you think as Led Zeppelin fans would probably love that, right? It's iconic. That's what you remember from the band, et cetera, et cetera. But they're just taking the art from the pinball, from the album, and slapping it on the machine. It's so lazy. If you look at a game like, I don't know, Metallica, like the LE is themed after Master of Puppets, but it's not just the Master of Puppets cabinet art or album art slapped on the cabinet. It's Dirty Donnie redrawing it, making it fit the space, bringing in the iconic imagery of the album, and then making it work for a pinball machine versus just like, here you go. It's to me, yeah, this seems more like, we have assets. These are the assets you're allowed to use. Hope you like the 4 symbols that represent Led Zeppelin and the Icarus character, because you're going to see him all over this pinball machine. Oh, and the blimp. So that was my reaction to the art. It was not good, and I think a lot of folks had a similar reaction. What did you think about the art when you saw it?
Yeah, so the whole thing with Steve Ritchie, and like I said, I threw that into Discord. It's like, why does he always have the worst art, right? He seems to get the best themes, right? He seems to be like the designer. When the theme comes down the pipe, he either gets choice or he gets the best one, and maybe they just tend to be the most restrictive. So my take, I don't like the pro. Maybe if I was a Led Zeppelin fan, that was my favorite album or something, I'd be fine with it. I'm fine with the premium. I like the iconic art of the iconic album art on it. And I have art's gonna be subjective. I have the thought that sometimes it's kind of a simple art. It doesn't have to be drawn by, like, hand drawn. It doesn't have to be. It could be something that's iconic and simple, and that can work. And then the LEs, whatever. I think the biggest thing about the art for me is that the cabinet artwork clash, at least on the Pro and the Premium, it just clashes with the playfield, right? It doesn't blend in well with it. Whereas on the LE, I think the colors work a little bit better. Like the colors are at least in coordination. So I think the LE looks the best because of there seems to be some cohesion with that. Where like the other two, it's just sort of clash. And the Premium model with the artwork from the first Led Zeppelin album, just it's black and white, right? But then you got this colorful playfield. It doesn't work in that sense. But I didn't have such a strong negative reaction like everybody did, and like I absolutely hate this. This is terrible. I'm just sort of like, okay, it's not remarkable. Maybe even at best, maybe it gets the job done, but it might even fall below that standard to me.
Yeah, I think of the three, that probably the Premium, I think is the most interesting. I kind of like the black and white take on it. It's pretty dramatic looking.
Yeah.
The other two are, I see what you're saying about the LE and how it fits better with the playfield, especially the orangey look. I've got some up close shots here, so you've got the orange and blue kind of colors that match the outer look of the cabinet. So yeah, that one seems the most cohesive. But I was looking through pictures today, and I'm like, what is up with this section of the playfield right here that just looks like it's destroyed or something? It's like intentionally looks decayed or scuffed up or something like that. I was like, well, maybe if you just make it look like the playfield's all chipping off, then you won't notice the chipping that's happening on the rest of the playfield.
Well, yeah, let's transition over. We'll start. So we kind of covered the cabinet, and you and I are both in agreement where I think we like the Premium the best, and that's one I'm eyeing. Maybe I'll get it. I mean, again, it's got to satisfy all the conditions with the shipping issues, and we'll talk about that. And God knows, I don't even know how much is a Premium deliver these days.
I have
right?
MSRP on here is $61.99 for a Pro, $77.99 for a Premium, $91.99 for an LE. So, yeah, that's up $100 from Ninja Turtles in May. It's the same price as Avengers, and it's up $200 from when I bought Jurassic Park last year. So
yeah, I mean, I'd have to, like, the stars would have to align. This game would have to be amazing rules wise. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. 2, I'd be waiting till at least the summer to see how things develop and the shipping. Then 3, I'd have to like get the IFPA deal by getting in the top 1,000. I'm not even in that anymore. Not playing it. So I don't know. We'll see. But let's talk about the playfield. What were you talking about that the I didn't notice what you're talking about. You said the playfield looks scuffed up, or
see this whole like this is white area. I don't know if you can see my cursor on the stream or not, but it's like above the right slingshot.
That's like the Zeppelin exploding.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's the Zeppelin on fire, not exploding, but on fire, right?
Yeah,
that's what that is.
I'm just like, oh, that's gross looking.
I think it's a weird angle. I'm gonna.
Hey, I have another angle on it. Yeah, you can see it here. That looks a little more like what it's supposed to look like.
I don't think it would look bad in person, honestly. And that's not a bad photo of it. I don't think the playfield's that bad. I don't think it's anything remarkable.
Yeah, it's just kind of it screams to me like here's we have these 4 pictures of the band members, and here's the Zeppelin again. I have a I want to take you over to Pinside, because we all love Pinside. There's a fantastic post that I want to refer to.
This is great. Yeah, go ahead. Just read it.
He says, I'm a creative director at an agency that works with the movie studios. We have these same kind of restrictions, limited assets, tough clients, and budget constraints. However, there's actually a way to work with clients in a manner where ultimately everybody gets what they want. This design signals to me that the assets they provided were extremely limited. Unfortunately, the solution was to simply reuse those assets over and over. The redundancy I'm seeing snuffs out the enchantment you might encounter when slowly poring over the artwork of a game. So I want to jump ahead a little bit. So he says, on the Premium, I see 2 airships on the apron, an airship on the playfield, an airship on an insert, a toy airship, 1 airship on the back glass, and a couple on the side art. Now I'm Airship the fuck out at this point, but there's more. The iconic band symbols are above the coin door, apron, in playfield inserts, and if that's not enough, they have made a wallpaper out of the symbols and plastered that all over the art blades. You can buy the custom shooter route if you want to go another route. So it's this is one of the things that drives me nuts in pinball when the pinball art. For me, it's like, oh, you see the name Tron on the topper, and then it's on the back glass, and it's the mod makers put it on the pop bumpers, and then it's on the side blades, and it's like, no, I get the name. You don't need to put the same thing 1,000 times all over the pinball machine. And yeah, so I forget what brought us to this, but that post was very much like, yes, thank you, somebody gets it. We were talking about the playfield. So so you got
by the way, that post was made by the guy's name is, or the gal's name is Coop C-O-O-P. So just to give credit. That was a really good post. I read it too the other day.
Yeah. The same thing with the Icarus. You got Icarus here. You got him on the pop bumpers. You got the pop up Icarus dude. You got him on the LE art all over the place. So they had like 5 or 6 things to work with, and then just put it around the playfield and rearranged things and placed them in and threw some color down in there. That was pretty much it. That's what the playfield looks like to me. It doesn't look I didn't have like when I saw the Game of Thrones art, I was like, this is I don't like this at all. I had more of that.
That's
reaction.
Worse. I would say the Game of Thrones art's worse than this.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah. This is better than Game of Thrones.
It's better than AC/DC.
Better
right?
than Star Wars. Yeah. It's
better than Star Wars, better than AC/DC.
Yeah.
This is maybe one of Steve Ritchie's best artwork that he had in the last 10 years.
A ringing endorsement for this playfield. But yeah, it fits the era, right? It's got that kind of 70s vibe to it. But again, it's not. I would much rather see somebody like Dirty Donnie, like he did with Aerosmith, take the iconic imagery of the band and make it work for the art and the inserts and everything that are on the pinball machine. Make it fit the pin. You know what I mean? And have cool little stuff all over the place.
Let's be honest.
Go ahead.
Let's be honest. It's you think about the last 20 years of Stern, right? It's only in the last 6 that we've got real, like, good hand-drawn artwork that people were clamoring for. Like, this playfield, in terms of all the other 14 years, is at least as good as most of them, if not better than a lot of them. That's the kind of funny thing to me. Like, look at some fucking Sopranos.
Oh,
the thing is hideous. Yeah. Right? Look at World Poker Tour.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually really good compared to everything else. It's the Stern listen, because people were just bitching endlessly, and rightfully so, about just the crap playfield artwork. So, you've got like Dirty Donnie and Metallica, and that was a game changer, right? You've got Aerosmith, and you got Deadpool. You've got a lot of good examples. So now when Stern kind of puts out their, I don't want to call it basic, but when they don't go and put out amazing artwork, it just really is glaring. But, if you've seen the artwork enough throughout the years, you're like, this is before you got amazing artwork. It's just sort of, that's the job done. It's easier to pick. It's easier. And what I'm trying to say is, it's way easier to pick it apart in 2020 than if this came out in 2010. People would be like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like over the past decade, the level has been raised so much. You look at all the hand-drawn art on Guns N' Roses looks amazing. That was another game I thought of, like the Guns N' Roses CE is themed after Appetite for Destruction. So it's like, that's the concept, the cabinet, but it doesn't just take the Appetite for Destruction artwork and throw it on the cabinet. It's redrawn.
Sure.
It has like the cross on the head, but the side is like from one of their the early versions of the album or something like that, with the dirty robot and the other dude on it. So it's like fans of the band know that artwork, but it doesn't just have that art from the album slapped on the cabinet. It's reimagined, fits the cabinet, looks great. So I think there's a way to bring in that imagery, that visual style that the fans really want, and do it in a better way. But again,
we don't know what they're licensing. I mean, with Guns N' Roses, Slash was behind it, as pointed out in the comments, and like they seem to have free range to do whatever they wanted with that pinball machine.
Exactly.
Right? They were given the creative license, and we don't know the kind of restrictions that they had with Led Zeppelin. Maybe it could have been better in some ways given the restrictions, as pointed out in that post. But how much better would it be? better to the point where people aren't bitching about it on Pinside and flipping out? I'm gonna guess no, if I had to guess, because I mean I think Stern gets it when it comes to art for the most part. So I guess the other question is, if you have a restricted license, is it even worth pursuing that license?
Right, exactly. That was going to be my point. It's like, is this the only way we get a Led Zeppelin machine? Is it better to have this and no Led Zeppelin machine, or to have tried to hold out or get something that is not possible to get? So I mean, for the fans of the band, I've seen fans of the band say they don't want it, but I think over time it starts to fade away, and it becomes more about the rules and the gameplay, right? Look at AC/DC. It ended up becoming one of the best pinball machines of all time, even though everybody freaked out about the huge Angus face in the middle of the playfield when it first got released, right? So
yeah, they're saying like it's like one of potentially Stern's biggest seller is AC/DC.
Right. Even though it's got, an art package that everybody freaked out about. So I think, well, that plays into their reveal cycle though too, right? So they come out, they tease it, they show pictures and video, some quick video, and that's all you really have to react to, right? That you see the pictures, you react to the art and the layout and the mechanics of it. So pinball people get excited, that's what they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about the art. So but over time, we play it more, we fall in love with the gameplay, and you can start to overlook the art. Maybe it's one of those things where, like, if the art was better, I would buy this for my house, but instead I'm just going to play it on location and enjoy it, or play it at a friend's house because it's so ugly I don't want to have it in my house. I don't know. But it's one of those things, I think, when you're talking about a $5,000 to actually $6,000 to $10,000 investment, people want the whole package, right? They want a theme they love. They want it to look great in their art and in their game room. They want it to play fun and have cool call outs and video. So, yeah, it's just one piece of the puzzle that I think could turn folks off from buying it potentially until, further down the line when they play it and maybe fall in love with it.
Let's talk about the history of Steve Ritchie releases, starting with AC/DC and then the reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and Kev, you got into pinball around this time. Were you in pinball, like on Pinside, when AC/DC Pro was revealed?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like I was, because I remember the freakouts about the art and stuff.
Okay.
People calling it Facey DC and stuff.
Yeah. So let's have, old man Nick and Kevin,
Yeah.
for those who are a little newer in the hobby, just walk you through this. I've seen this movie many times in the last 8 years, and we're going to go back to 2012 when Steve released AC/DC. Everyone, first of all, when this came out, when Led Zeppelin came out, I'm in our Discord and it's in Pinside, and everyone's shitting on it and losing their minds, and it's like, what a like, I'm sort of like they're trying to like temper the expectations a little bit, like just calm down a little bit, because I've seen this before, and it's a very boring movie because it just happens all too often. Here's what happened when AC/DC came out, and Kevin, you said that, but I want to break it down game by game a little bit. So this was when AC/DC came out. This was Steve's return to Stern. He left, I think, in 2008. Right? And they and in between 2008 and 2012, they had like a skeleton crew of like John Borg was making every game pretty. So Steve comes back, and his first game back, people are excited for it. It's AC/DC, and then they show pictures online, and people lost their shit, not in a good way. The Pro was shown, and you see Angus's big face in the middle. So again, as Kevin said, the joke was Facey/DC. Haha, it's pretty clever. They're slamming it because there's not really much of a toy. The Bell didn't even did anything on the Pro. And then the layout is T2, right? All the way down to the cannon. People are like, they're not liking it. They're not happy. It's like the same exact and also the artwork, even then, before we got hand-drawn art, they're not happy with it. So it was the same negative reaction, Led Zeppelin. So what happens? Game comes out, people play it, and they fucking love it. I played it, and I ended up buying one. I bought a Pro, and then Premium came out, and that was the first game from Stern with LEDs, and people were blown away by the lights in that. So I sold the Pro, and I bought a Premium. Funny story, I don't have any of those games anymore. But it goes on to be potentially Stern's best-selling game ever. Then what game came out next, Kev? We have Star Trek.
Yeah, must have been, right?
The Star Trek comes out.
Same thing.
What the fuck happens again? So people this is Star Trek. This is one of the biggest license you can possibly get. So they see the playfield and people lose their shit. It's just a bunch of colors on it. And what is this? What's this? This toy on a spring? This basic layout? Go back. You can see this all. You can see this all play out. Lose their shit. Game comes out. People fucking love it. All right, and it goes on and sells well, and people have it in their collection. All right. Next game comes out. What's Steve's next game after that?
Was it Game
of Thrones? Yep. Game of Thrones come out. Now the art is really hated on that game. People fucking. I remember Coast to Coast had a whole episode just talking about the art. Right? Like again, same thing. Nothing on this game. Very very basic, lacking any real toy. A thing that jiggles on it. And what happens? People like Game of Thrones. It comes out, and the art's not as bad in person. It's just like I need to go on and on. What's this next game after that?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Same shit, man. God, you see the pattern. You see the pattern. So when I saw this game revealed, it's just like, yeah. First of all, this is not even the worst in like the Steve Ritchie art that I've seen in the last 10 years. What's going to happen? People are going to slam the art, and they're going to actually play the game. They're going to find it's really fun. Then it's going to sell well. You know, I've seen it all before. We're Groundhog Day here.
What about Walking Dead? Well, Steve Ritchie didn't design Walking Dead. We're talking about Steve Ritchie design games.
Yeah, Steve Ritchie. We're calling it the Steve Ritchie effect.
He had Kevin O'Connor art on Black Knight Sword of Rage, so he got one that was pretty okay the last time around.
You know what you're gonna get. I mean, it's like the same art on the Black Knight, you know. Right. So, but yeah.
So that finally wasn't a license restriction kind of game for him. So
yeah.
What should we get into next? So we talked about art. I think we've kind of covered the bases when it comes to art. What about I have the gameplay features videos. We can kind of go through some of the gameplay stuff. Let me pop over here, and we can show that. So this is the Stern promo video. This is the showing off the premium. And are we gonna get muted? We're gonna get muted. Turn this down. Back panel song LED list. It's got some ramps. Integrated playfield illumination lighting system. So think of hot rails on Guns N' Roses, but not as cool and stuck in the side of the cabinet instead of along the bottom of the cabinet. That's kind of, or like individually lighted pin stadiums that are built into the side of the cabinet, that sort of thing. So that's one of their key features here. It's
like every song gets like its own lighting show with it, like a choreograph.
Yep. Sounds like Guns N' Roses. Okay. So where are we going next with this? Oh, I thought it was hilarious that they focused on this ball saver in this video. It's like, okay, you hit 2 targets on the left, and then there's a virtual ball.
But it's a virtual ball save. Like that's the thing that like, okay, here's a criticism. Why can't we put a coil in there?
On the LE?
People don't. Yeah, exactly. Okay, don't put it on the Pro. Why can't the premium and LE get a real ball save?
Right, and I feel like casual players don't understand that either. Like if they see the ball kicking back, then the ball came back. That's cool. But if I drain and then it's just like the ball shoots out again, I'm like, oh, okay.
That's like not an excuse with the license. How much is a fucking coil? Like, come on. That's the kind of thing where I'm like, I start getting like, all right, you could put that on the premium and LE. You could do that. There's not a lot of toys on this. So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, take the coil that you would have used on a knocker back in the day and put it in the kickback. Okay. All right, let's go back to this.
Why are people asking in chat? What do people think of Austin Powers? Steve Ritchie didn't make that game.
but what about all the board games? All right, left eject. Oh, weird. Never saw that before in a Steve Ritchie game.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird. His layout has a scoop on the far left. Star Trek.
Yeah, I know.
T2. No Fear. The list goes on and on. So that's a tried and true Steve Ritchie kind of layout thing.
Yeah.
So cool. When lit, shoot to collect extra ball and locks. It has a left orbit. Oh my god, with a spinner and a flasher, just like Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's got an orbit. It's got some rock stand-up targets on the right. You can spell Zeppelin.
1, 2, 3. It's
1, 2, 3.
Zeppelin 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
This is a Zeppelin ramp. So the left ramp has a giant Zeppelin over it to not only block the orbit but also block the ramp, so you can't see the ball. But it doesn't really do anything. It's just like it's literally just the thing that sits there.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, why the Zeppelin is the toy in it because there's not enough Zeppelins in this game. So the Zeppelin is not a toy because it's a molded thing. Okay, fine. But why does that not do anything? Why can't that thing do something cool? Does it even have any, like, no lights? Does it have a propeller in the back? I don't know. Could it have engraved like Led Zeppelin on it or something? I don't know. But it's just there. Sure, put it there, but that's another issue, right? There's just not a lot. We'll get to the toy in it.
Yeah.
But you would think that they could have done something with the fucking, have it move around a little bit. I don't
do
know.
Something. Put it on a spring.
Yeah, no, come on, God. Don't sound.
Oh wait, it's
put
got
it on a
lights by it.
string and have it move back and forth or something. Like, I don't know. Have it move across the playfield. Something fucking cool.
It does not feed into the Zeppelin. It goes under the Zeppelin, and then there's lights next to the Zeppelin to indicate the locks.
There's no like virtual lock there or anything like that. Like with that, nothing. Yeah. It could have the balls could have loaded in the Zeppelin or something. I don't know.
They could have even like fudged it where they put like a diverter up there to just like hold the balls.
Yeah.
And then they release.
I know. I agree. Like, I agree. Something with the Zeppelin would have been nice. All right, whatever. Anybody can just fucking put a little Zeppelin toy in there.
Next. Yeah, that could have been a perfect mod for somebody. Zeppelin, oh my God, these animations. But I guess there's actually concert footage and stuff, and I don't know why they didn't show any of that in these promo videos, which would have made a huge difference, I think. But yeah, these animations they selected for the promo graphic didn't really do it any justice.
No, they didn't. It didn't help them. They didn't help themselves. It looks better when we saw the gameplay.
Yeah. So
I don't agree with this comment in chat though. They would have been better off giving it the Beatles treatment, just reskinning it whole game. I totally disagree.
No,
totally disagree. No. They would have charged more, and you would have gotten even less. Like, that's the worst model. That's not a win for anybody.
All right, so we're flipping a hot shot reversing combo ramp. That's kind of cool. I like that shot from the upper flipper.
Yeah, I do like that. That's not on the Pro though.
Yeah, that's the Pro. You get a stand-up target. Like, why even have an upper flipper if you're just gonna shoot it into a stand-up target?
You got to put something there, I guess, Kev.
God, I would say.
But I think also to hit that, they also have that probably to hit that the 3-bank, right?
Yeah,
stand-up targets too.
I guess. Yeah. Gives you another way to hit those.
Otherwise, how are you really gonna hit them?
Right.
I don't know.
You'd have to like bank it off of the from the right flipper at the bottom.
You guys did not miss the Goren Topper talk yet, chat. Just it's coming. We're making you wait to the end.
Yep. The best things come at the end, so you have to stick around. So. Center ramp accessible from every flipper, which Stern claimed was an industry first on Avengers, even though I could do it on Heist. But according to the gameplay stream, they didn't hit it up there, or then maybe it went up there once. So it's not like Avengers where it was very makeable from all three all the time. It's more of a like it can happen sometimes, right? So. I don't know why you would call that out when it's not very makeable. All right, so we're flapping around. The ball's coming down the left in lane. LED stand-up targets and ZEP drop targets. Okay, great. What do they do?
That's for the people just listening to this podcast. We're going again just to remind people because they've like fallen asleep or wondered why this podcast has gotten really shitty in the last couple minutes.
Wow.
Kevin's going through the video and breaking it down, so better to watch this portion if you can on
exactly.
that.
And
but also at the same time, you're probably not missing much, as you can tell by Kevin's commentary.
It's a reminder of all the rule action. So you spell those to raise the electric magnetic device. Oh, and Stern, they tricked everybody into thinking a spinner is a toy. Good on you, Stern. You really did it.
You're such an ass.
It raises out of the playfield, and it's a spinner. Oh, my God, and it has a magnet. Well, it reminds me, I remember the discussion that we had about we were going through toys on Ghostbusters, and we had a discussion about whether or not the Scolari Brothers drop targets were toys or not, and you said absolutely not. Not a toy. So this is a spinner.
I'm going to give it like the fact that the spinner is not a toy, but the fact that it's something that raises out of the playfield is a toy. The good toy destruction. That's where I stand on the toy controversy. If something actually raises out of the playfield, lowers up and down, it's a toy. Now the stand-up targets, is it? I know. This is way more elaborate though than a pop-up stand-up target. You got to admit that. Think about the mech involved.
They tricked everybody. They tricked everybody.
No, Kevin, listen. Easy. No, easy. Okay, it comes out of the center playfield.
Okay.
All right, it's significant. It's not just a little pop-up target. All right, it is a spinner, but it's also a magnet. It can hold the ball, and it will take the ball underneath the playfield. That's not a toy?
Maybe.
It's more of a toy than fucking little Deadpool or the TIE Fighter on a string.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that. The fact that it takes
yeah,
the ball.
That's not a strong argument.
It takes the ball under the playfield, and I'll give you that. Okay, I'll give you that.
All
But
right. Whew.
it's a spinner.
I gotta pick my
everybody.
battles wisely.
It's a spinner. But it also does some other stuff.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think of it? The toy, not a toy behind us. What do you think about that?
It's pretty cool. But the thing that I think when I see this game and the layout and everything, it's just like it could be any theme, kind of like Iron Maiden. There's nothing really specific to the toys and the layout that screams Led Zeppelin or even like a rock band. Like, what does a spinner that comes out of the playfield have to do with Led Zeppelin? Or, I mean, you've got a blimp on there, but it's not an interactive toy. Like, you've got an art, and there's a leaping guy on a stick that jumps up, but it's like, okay, it's very, very Stern-esque in that way, right? Like, let's develop a layout. You have your occasional games like Jurassic Park, I think, is very well theme integrated layout wise with the toys and everything like that. But this game could be anything, and that's kind of what stands out to me in the way the game is structured. And there's really not anything Rock Band or Zeppelin about it.
What's the reference to the electric magic that's with the racing spinner? Like, I don't know Led Zeppelin well enough to understand what that, like, if that's theme integration or what. Do you know?
It probably is. I don't know. I'm not a huge...
So I think, as we're talking about in the chat, I think that comes up. You hit the spinner to charge the magnet, and then when the magnet's charged, you hit it in there, it holds it, and then takes the ball underneath. I mean, to me, that's pretty cool. And I don't know why this is like gets super compared to, like somebody said, it's a bad version of the Ironmonger. I mean, like, first of all, let me put this in context for you with the Ironmonger. Iron Man was another game that just got fucking shit on when it came out. They called it Plastic Man because there's no like metal ramps in it, right? Like, it's reductionist, it's stupid, it's a stupid bash toy. So now nobody's ever going to be happy with that. I'm of the opinion that this toy that comes up is pretty cool. Like, I like that it adds another shot, another functionality to the game. I think it's pretty cool. I like a spinner, whatever. It comes up with the playfield. I don't think it's related at all to the Iron Man whatsoever. It just functions totally differently. But again, let me just go back to that. Now everybody loves Iron Man. It's one of the best games. Like, blah blah blah. Some people own it. These are the same. This is the same shit that comes up all the time. I've seen it before. I've learned my lesson.
Electric Magic is an album or tour, chat is saying. So there is some reference to Zeppelin.
All right, I guess the Electric Magic is you charge it up, the magnet grabs it and takes underneath. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
You have the Electric Magic.
Somebody said it should have been a blimp. What, you want to fucking bash the blimp? Then they like Stern will get killed for bash toys. Like, we've had enough bash toys.
That would have been if Borg did it. There would have been a blimp bash toy in it.
What was the last best in the last 5 years? What's the best toy from a Stern, Kev? I know I'm
Jurassic Park dinosaur, or the Black Knight.
Yeah, all right. So I don't love the Jurassic Park dinosaur. First of all, it doesn't work half the time. Did you ever get yours to work right?
Yeah, mine works
like
great.
100% of the time.
I mean, occasionally you're gonna not hit it strong enough, and it won't go all the way in. But
that's a pretty good toy. The Black Knight toys. I think the Aerosmith, the Jackie in the Box throwing it is cool. Not only that was nicely molded too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like the functionality of throwing it in there. It's the fact that it threw like 5 or 6 balls in there and like molded nice. Anyways, yeah. So I don't know. I'm okay with this toy, but
yeah,
I'm all right with it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, not great. It's if you look at something like Iron Maiden, it's got the little coffin lock thing, which is just like, I think this is better than that.
Well, let me. I have fun being a contrarian,
and
being a devil's advocate. What toy is really in Guns N' Roses?
There's not. I'm not going to go and say that there's.
So I mean, it's a $9,500 machine that has no toy in it.
It's a $6,700 machine with no toy in it.
But the $9,500 version has no, like, the main they call it standard, but the main version, like the full-fledged version, has no toy in it.
there's not like, there's not toys in the traditional sense. I'll give you that. But it's, I'm not saying every theme needs an amazing toy. I'm saying the playfield layout needs to integrate with the theme better. And I think a game like Guns N' Roses does that. It's got the lock where you have the guitar head, the right ramp is freaking drumsticks and everything. So theme is integrated throughout that playfield. You couldn't just throw Tron on a Guns N' Roses machine and you'd be like, why is there a guitar in here? You know what I mean? That's my point.
No, that's a good point, right? So theme integrate, like we've focusing on theme integration. Yeah, you're right. The playfield layout, it's not great. It's not great. And then I think the where you're gonna argue for theme integration with Led Zeppelin is and what they would probably argue is the light show, right? And like the programmed light show for every different song. That's probably where they're gonna go. But other than that, it's pretty weak. Yeah,
when we talk about toys, we mean specifically like things that interact with the ball. Somebody mentioned let's see, there was one up here. Oh, like the lights in GNR. They're cool. Like the little moving spotlights. They're cool, but that's not a toy, right? When Nick and I talk about toys and pinball machines, we're talking about things that you can interact with the ball.
Yeah. That's like
so. Just to define,
the toy discussion's always fun.
Yeah,
right?
It's always a good time. All right, but let's get back to the video. Wrap the video up here.
Jesus Christ, who knew we could talk about this shit for an hour? All right.
I knew we could. There it is. Oh, you're hitting the spinner. Oh, that's when it grabs the ball. That's cool. I assume it is cool. Can it like hold the ball and you like smack the ball out of there?
Well, it's weird. It's really weird. Maybe this was in the stream. When I was looking at the matrix, the feature matrix, it was saying it has the ability to hold the ball. So maybe that's something that will get programmed in there with rules where you gotta like maybe the second multi-ball or you gotta hit it loose. So
all right,
I think it's cool.
This is my favorite part. Ready?
This
Wait
is
for
fucking
it.
dumb.
Oh, it's Icarus. He leaps up. Oh my god! They should have just left that. It looks so cheesy.
Yeah. Well, you can't win. You take it out, then there's nothing in there. They
Right.
throw it in there. They say it's something in there. Yeah,
Right.
it's
right orbit to the lock like AC/DC. So it's kind of a Steve Ritchie greatest hits, which is fair. Most designers have their signature playfield designs, but this one's kind of a little bit of everything. I do have one other video I want to show here. Here we go. It's I know Nick's gonna like this one the best. It's the game accessories trailer. So not only do you get a new pinball machine, you get accessories to go along with it on day one. So let's take a look at what you can add on to your Led Zeppelin. So you get, if you didn't have enough of those cymbals, you get a 4-sided Led Zeppelin cymbals shooter knob
for $90.
It's pretty ridiculous. $90, yep. Oh, and there's more cymbals on the side armor that you could buy for $200, I think. They got cymbals. Oh, and there's more cymbals. Another Zeppelin on the top.
Do the cymbals light up on the I don't think they do on this side.
They don't. No.
Yeah. All right.
Goren's getting excited for the topper, and it's got spotlights on there. I wonder where they got that idea from.
That is cool, though. I'm sorry, that topper is really cool. Like I think that's one of the better.
Cool. That topper is lame.
Really?
Yeah, it's got.
I was impressed when I saw that topper. I was like, "This is a good topper."
It's made of plastic and it's got 2 lights that turn back and forth on a single axis. It's really dumb.
Wow, you are
Look at
totally
it. It's so for $800. $800?
I'm not saying $800 is worth it. I'm taking price off the table.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying
price is on the table when we're considering Stern versus JJP, but it's not on the table when we're talking about toppers.
I would never. Well, like let's compare it to R2D2 or like that's garbage, right? Like
so
this is. I like the topper. The price is ridiculous, but I like. The topper.
Wait, hang on. Look at it on top of the premium. They put it on the premium. Where's the? I don't know if I got a shot of it. So the premium is all black and white, and then you have this bright orange top and purple topper on the top.
The color. You're right. The color. I mean, like I said, the color clashing is just,
It fits the LE the best. There.
That's a cool attention grabbing topper. I'm surprised you're that negative on
Oh
it.
no, I do.
Price
not like that
notwithstanding, yeah, price is fucking stupid on toppers. I would never buy a topper. That thing is like, if that was like $150, then it's like, and I could have a topper and I had that game, then I'd be like, all right, that's not bad. If I like, this is my favorite game, I want it, blah blah blah. The $800 is just like, you just don't know what to do with your money at that point, and you're buying that.
Black Knight, cool topper. This, not cool topper.
Well, Black Knight's like one of the best toppers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's some true shit toppers.
That's true.
All right.
Fact, Nick can't have toppers in his basement. That's true.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your accessories you can buy for your Zeppelin. So thanks for tuning in for your topper talk. There's more topper talk coming up.
There we go.
Is there anything else we need to talk about for Led Zeppelin?
Well, gameplay.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that when we were going through the video, but what are your thoughts on gameplay?
So I watched some of the stream before it got cut last night, and it's fast, flowy Steve Ritchie, right? It looks fun. It looks like how you expect it to be. It reminds me, and I say it reminds me of AC/DC. I'm not saying the layout is AC. I'm just saying the movement of the ball, right? The ball's sort of always in motion. You're always flowing. Versus like some Steve Ritchie games, like the recent one, like Game of Thrones, and like Black Knight, where it's more stop and go on those games. The ball's constantly in motion, constantly moving. Seems like you're in multi-ball a lot. Then that becomes very AC/DC-esque. That's the vibe I got from this game. I guess, which is no surprise. It's the music by Steve Ritchie, so I'm sure that's design philosophy around it. You're gonna out of the same. It looks fun.
Yeah, it looks fast. It's funny too because there's a lot of folks I went back to the thread on Pinside and everybody's like, "Oh, this is amazing now," because it's fast flowing shots. I was like, "Well, it's a Steve Ritchie game. Of course you would get a fast flowing game from Steve Ritchie. That totally makes sense." But so you're going through the release life cycle, right? Like it's either based on the art, it's either amazing or the worst game ever. And then you see gameplay, and then there's kind of like the inverse effect where if the art was good, the gameplay is terrible, or if the art was bad, the gameplay is amazing, and then everybody finds their reason to not buy the game based on whatever reasoning they've developed from the reveal. So, yeah, it's like up and down, up and down. We didn't talk about the set list of music.
Yeah, this is so. Here's my. All right, here you go. Here you go, because this is all the Stern haters who want to jump on and bash this. This is my love letter to you. All right, let me throw you guys a bone because I know you guys want to hate on this and Stern and blah blah blah. All the JJP fanboys. Listen, I like both companies. The biggest letdown of this game, not the art, it's not the theme integration. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. It's not the lack of toys. Blah blah blah. It's none of that. It's the fact that there's 10 fucking songs in this. Now, maybe that was okay when we had AC/DC. AC/DC might even have 12, but it's okay maybe for the first few music games, but it just isn't anymore. And it isn't anymore for these prices. And especially when Guns N' Roses is putting out what, Kevin, 21 songs?
Yep, 21
it's like
full
you're buying
album
these
original songs, yeah.
These pinball machines where the entire theme is the music. I mean, that's theme integration, right? At the very minimum, it should have more than 10 songs. What's the magic number? I mean, 21 seems plenty. No one's going to look at that and say that's not enough. But I can look at 10 and say that's not enough. I don't know where the magic number lies. I'll be happy. 15, maybe at least. There's got to be some threshold. But that's the most inexcusable thing about this game is that you're buying this super expensive jukebox and it's spitting out 10 songs. That's the biggest disappointment to me.
Yeah. Especially like you said, after GNR comes out and they drop 21 full length songs in there. Let's step it up. But again, there's a couple of points in chat. A lot of Zeppelin songs are slow and meandering, not good for pinball. I agree with Wildcat there. I don't think Stairway to Heaven would be a good inclusion in here, and I'm actually perfectly fine that it's not in there. Are there? Somebody else said Zeppelin songs are expensive. Balser said that. I have no doubt that played into it. So I mean, it's better than Beatles, where we paid $8,500 for the bottom level, and we got 20-second clips of songs.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's like, dude.
Yeah.
God, CERN just like, yeah, they know what they're doing making up those things.
Yeah. So again, it's licensing restrictions, but you have to figure out, is it worth doing a pin if I only have access to these certain number of assets? So it's a trade-off for sure. There you go. Anything else for gameplay?
No, I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure the game is a lot of fun to do. Is this a game, the way we look at it through our lens, this is a game that you go out and buy and I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to get one for sure.
Yeah.
Is Nick Lane a year from now going to get one? We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. First of all, they got to get the quality controls under control, which we didn't point this out, Kevin. In the video that they shot, somebody analyzed the video and they saw clear coat cracking. And then they saw pooling in the promo video.
Yeah, I think it was actually the high res photos. Like they put up these super high res photos, and then you can zoom in.
Yeah,
and then there's also like you can see planking on the play field, which is not the end of the world. But if you're gonna pick a machine to like take these shots of, make sure it's perfect, especially when there's all this going on and people are freaking out about it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing there's not going to be a Led Zeppelin in your future, but maybe they'll turn
probably. Yeah. If I had to put a percentage on it, maybe 45%. And again, it changes now. And I said this before. I like what position I'm in with pinball because my basement's full, so I've got to like move games around, figure out what needs to leave or who's going to babysit a game. I got to bring it down, figure out how to get in the base. Like there's just so many steps. Also, the price has gone up considerably. So, if I had a scenario where I had a lot of space for games and they were easy enough to get in and out, I'd be more lenient on what comes and goes. But I'm in a nice spot where it's like it's got to be something special. Will this game be something special? This is not a knock on Tim Sexton, but like if you told me that Lyman was doing the rules for this and Steve Ritchie, I'd be like, okay, I better start saving my money because it's probably gonna be phenomenal, right? So I just have really, really tight standards now, and I'm fine saving money and not spending money on pinball. The funny thing is I have now more money than ever, disposable income to get a pinball machine than I did in the past. So in some ways it's easier for me to get one, and yet my standards have gone up. And in the last 10 years, it's like, I'm just I'm not made of money, but I'd find a way to get a pinball machine up, right? Like nothing was going to stop me from getting.
So, question from Mr. Bubbles. He wants to know, from an operator's perspective, is it worth it for a location title?
I think that like the Pro would be phenomenal for like Masuda Chow's, right? Where we have like a rock lineup. I bet it would be great. I bet it would do great. We didn't talk about like one of the accessories, you can actually get the side lighting kit for the Pro.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it wasn't.
They haven't released the pricing yet on it. So I do like that. I think that's a good step, like that you can kind of customize your game a little bit more. Maybe you don't want to pay the premium price, but you want to get a Pro. You don't need the mech that comes up, but you want the lighting kit. So I'm glad they give the option. Is it worth it for what Stern will charge? That's up to you to decide, but it's cool that they at least make that available.
Yeah, I'm curious since that lighting is recessed on the premium and LE, like, does the cabinet come with like the recessed area in it where you can install it, or is it going to be installed different, or
I think it's
drill holes in your cabinet?
No, I think they said that they have it ready to like be put in, right?
Okay.
Like it's like plug and play. It sounds like. I could be wrong, but that's what I gathered from the short kind of reading on it.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's to be announced. This is the pricing has not been released on that yet. So, yeah. Anything else? Did we cover all the bases?
Ooh, how we do, chat? Did we do all right?
We should showcase our chairs. We talked about the chairs on the last one, but yeah, I got the Secret Lab Titan, and Nick's got some GT racing action.
I have like basically the same chair, but just the cheaper knockoff company, whatever you call it. It's probably the same factory it comes from. There you go. There you go. We got chairs though. This is when you're big pinball Twitch and YouTube streamers, and you just living the life, guys.
And when it's also your home office, you need a good chair to sit in instead of the jank one that I was sitting in. So
that's right.
Thank you, 2020. So don't go anywhere. We have a special debut of a brand new segment for you guys. Our holiday gift to you. It's a Topper Talk from Goren. So I feel we'll do a little recap after this is done. So here we
All
go.
right, let's do this.
Topper talk time. Enjoy it, everybody.
It's Topper Talk with Goren right now. Let's all have some fun. This is about plastic on top of your pin. Go and buy one now. There's a topper here and a topper there. Here a topper, there a topper, everywhere a topper. It's critical to the gameplay experience. You must buy one now. It's your monthly fill of toppers right now. Topper Talk with Goren. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Topper Talk with Goren, the part of the podcast where Kevin and Nick give me about 2 to 3 minutes to talk about everything that's going on in the very productive and profitable topper industry. If you don't know me, I'm Goren, and I am a topper enthusiast. And if you don't know what a topper is, a topper are those things behind me that go on top of your pinball machine and enhance the gameplay experience. So today, we're going to be talking about the Led Zeppelin Topper from Stern Pinball. Let's get right into it. All right, so let's jump right into it. So Led Zeppelin was recently announced by Stern Pinball, and I'm sure Kevin and Nick will talk about their opinions on the overall machine, but I'm here to talk about the topper. So recently announced, and with most newer Stern announcements, they also release a game accessories trailer, and in that game accessories trailer, it will sometimes show the topper, and it showed the Led Zeppelin topper. So let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick. Let me turn down the sound. That's not bothering me. Cool. So yeah, so we see the Led Zeppelin Airship Spotlight Topper. We have the Airship on top, a piece of plastic in the front, and then the main attraction here, the spotlights that move back and forth. Really cool. Adds to the concert experience. I think that, I'm not here to talk about this. I don't think that the overall pin achieves the concert experience like Guns N' Roses does, but with the Spotlight Topper, you sort of go that extra step to make it feel like a concert. But here's what I don't like. Stern pinball machines, except maybe, the Batman machine, don't include toppers in any of their models. If, it's either you buy the topper or you don't. And, you're paying all that money for a new pinball machine, and at least for the LE, you think a topper would be included. So let's back up to dissect this a little bit more. The spotlights, I think, is what blinds me with this topper. It's what I really like about it. But remove the spotlights, you got nothing. You got some symbols on the front that lights up. You got the airship blimp. There's really nothing going on. Not a whole lot of interactivity besides the spotlights. And I think that is the selling point. But guess what? You get spotlights in the game in Guns N' Roses. With the way Stern trends are moving, you're looking anywhere between $600 and $1,000 for a topper, which is insane. I am a topper fan, and I don't think I would pay that, unfortunately. But hey, props to people who get it. I think it's going to be a great addition to the machine and really add to the immersion of the machine. And by the way, the other thing that annoys me is the toppers the spotlights only move in one direction when you look at the spotlights in the Guns N' Roses machine, and you're moving in multiple directions. So it really feels like they threw something together to make it work because they had to have a topper. I think they hit it out of the park with the spotlights, but who knows what the cost will be, and I find it disappointing it's not included as stock on any of the pins. So that's my take on this topper. Yeah. Well, that concludes today's episode of Topper Talk with Goren. Tune in next podcast for another episode, and go out there and buy a topper.
Wow, I don't know what else we can say about that. That was quite amazing, Goren. Thank you for the topper industry insider, Goren Topper Insider.
Kevin and I are arguing in chat on whose side Goren's on.
He's clearly on my
Kevin's
side.
trying to take credit. Goren and I are lining up, which I don't know if I should be celebrating, though. I don't think there's any winning in that. So I don't know, Kev.
That's
you
the beauty of Goren. He can apply to anybody, really. He kind of treads that middle ground. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you. This was our not so quick update on Led Zeppelin. See, that's why it's going to get a full episode.
What's the next topper, Goren, that we can look for in 2021? What people need something to look forward in life.
Kyle dropping the 5,000 bits. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
I got
there
an
you go.
emote. I got 3 emotes. Thanks, Kyle.
That's nice of you. Yeah, speaking of which, this is the holiday season, and if you need any gift ideas, why not get your loved ones a subscription to Buffalo Pinball?
It's the gift that keeps on giving for a whole month.
You got 1 month.
A whole month of emotes and ad-free viewing.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a great evening. Enjoy your holidays. Hope you got some time off coming up to relax and make the most of it. But until next time, Nick, have a good one.